Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. And today we're going to be talking about some of the latest Evercade releases I got from the company. I have to say this, if you're going to play Tomb Raider, the trilogy, make sure you're very careful about playing it on a Super Pocket because it can be very difficult. But other than that, let's get right to the video. With the success of the Super Pocket, it looks like they have two new versions coming out. The one that got my attention was the one that had Double Dragon on it. I wish that they probably would release these on separate cartridges, the games that are included in these, but we'll see if they do something in the future. But if you're a fan of the Super Pockets, they got some new versions coming out, and I think you guys might be interested in them. Alright, so first we're going to look at the Tomb Raider collection. This comes with Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3. Now, just to let you guys know, Tomb Raider 2 is my favorite out of this bunch, and then next after that comes probably Tomb Raider 1 and then 3. So we'll start with part 1. Obviously, this is the first Tomb Raider that got everybody into the series. It transitions well on the Evercade, but usually my go-to game out of these three is Tomb Raider 2. And as you see here, I love being outside of Laura's house. I always go in and play the music, and when the music starts, I take a dip in the pool. It was very nostalgic playing this game again. But in saying that, I feel like this collection of games is more just to show you guys the power of the Evercade, like what it could do. Like a lot of people don't know, I believe the Evercade is probably as powerful as a Dreamcast. So we may see games like that in the future on the system. But the Tomb Raider series, they got a couple of releases right now, so maybe people want to come back to the trilogy. I'm not sure if any new gamers could get used to the tank controls these games have, but the old school folks, we get used to them again. But yeah, Tomb Raider trilogy, definitely, I would say there's something that's pushing the power of the Evercade, like just showing you what it could do. I did play a lot of Tomb Raider 3 because out of all the Tomb Raider games, that's the one I probably played the least because I got stuck in that one. And graphically, like a lot of the environments was just really difficult for me to see. But coming back to it now, I feel like I'm better at it. But still, part 2 is my favorite. So if you're into the Tomb Raider games, this trilogy be right up your alley. And now we have the Legacy of Kain collection, which includes Blood Omen and a Soul Reaver. Now, I'm more familiar with Soul Reaver, so you're seeing that footage now. But this game is definitely interesting, and I kind of regret I didn't play it back in the day. But at the same time, I don't, because I know the game ended on a cliffhanger that we got years later on the PS2. But playing it now, this one's actually pretty fun. I think what turned me off from this game back in the day is that I felt like, it was going to have like Tomb Raider controls or whatever like that. So I felt like, oh gosh, I don't want to get into like another Tomb Raider game. But the game has way better controls than Tomb Raider. They're not tanked, thankfully. And I think a lot of people will be able to get into this one. Definitely another game showing off what the Evercade could do. So now we have the Bitmap Bros collection, volume 2, 6 games included. So first game is Cadaver. Had no idea how to play this game. I felt like there was like some kind of button that was missing that I needed to push, but I just couldn't get it right. So I had to move on to the next game, but maybe I'll come back and try it again. The sequel, Cadaver the Payoff, kind of offered the same, so I really didn't play that one that much either. Next up is Gods. Now this game is actually okay, but for me it was a bit stiff. Now I can imagine myself playing this on computer back in the day, and I think I would have enjoyed it, but as of right now I just can't get into it. Magic Pockets is probably one of the better games on this list. I feel like this game was on the Lynx back in the day, but not too sure. But anyways, this one I feel like is the most playable game on this collection. It may not seem like much, but this one's actually pretty cool. You got the character with sunglasses, hat turned backwards, and throwing like these tornadoes at the enemies. So yeah, this one's definitely one of the more playable ones on this collection. Next up, we have Chaos Engine Part 2. This one is pretty intense actually, because you're going against another opponent that's trying to like get to the exit or something like that. When you run into each other, you try to kill each other, but for the most part, I see you're trying to get to the exit and before the other player. At least that's what I got from it. But this one seems interesting. Yeah, you guys let me know what you think about this one if you played it before. And last on this list is a game called Z. This came out in 1996, and you kind of tell by the way the graphics look, this is a strategy game, But definitely, I don't feel like this game is just for me. But it's cool that it's on this collection. All right, so here's the Thalamus collection. This comes with 11 games, and I think most of these were on the Commodore system. But anyways, we're gonna start out with Amalite. This is the competition edition. As you can see, this game is very familiar looking. It kind of plays, well, I guess like Gradius in a way, a little bit of R-Type. Well, at least on this part, like R-Type, because I remember this from the third game where you get into that little, I don't know, that weird area where you're kind of dodging like debris. That's what that reminded me of. But anyways, another cool game on this collection so far, at least in my opinion. Next up is Creatures. I could totally see myself playing this on my DOS computer back in the day. Definitely right up my alley. And also Creatures Part 2, more of the same, but even better, I'm assuming. But for me personally, I had more fun playing Creatures Part 1. Then we have Hawkeye. This is a run and gun shooter on the system. I feel like this game is pretty cool. It has some hiccups here and there, but overall, I feel like this is a good game. Next up is Heat Seeker. Me and Jason talked about this game. This is probably one of the weirder games on this list. You play as a leg with a basketball trying to like get through the level, and the controls are so weird. Like I don't know how I got to the first level, but I was very intrigued by this one. It's just like it's so weird that you just want to see what happens next. Next we got Hunter's Moon Remastered. Already a remastered game on the Evercade. I guess we're going through the 9th generation on the Evercade as well. Anyways, this is a shooter where you kind of like shoot out like these areas to kind of get through them. It's very, I don't know, let's move on. Alright, next is Nobi the Aardvark. So, this is actually a really good looking game, and I could totally see myself playing this game back in the day. What I don't like about this one, it seems like when you're about to jump on the platforms move pretty fast, so it's hard to get your timing down, I would say, so it's pretty awkward. But once you get it down, I feel things run pretty smoothly. But I just wish that it was just more leveled out. But anyways, one of the better looking games on this list. Retrograde is pretty much like a Defender game. You know, if you haven't played Defender, well, it is a horizontal shooter that has you going back and forth, like taking out enemies with a map, seeing where certain enemies are and other things. But yeah, pretty simple, I would say. Next up, we have Snare. This is a 20 level like puzzle game. You use these pointing ramps to kind of change to the direction of where you need to go. So it's really kind of confusing. I don't know if a lot of people will like this game, but it's here if you want something that's different. Here's Summer Camp. This one seemed pretty fun. You know, I got pretty far in this one, so I definitely would say this is one of the more playable games on this collection. If you like platform games, this is definitely one of the first games you want to try out on this list. Then we have Winter Camp. For some reason, I just couldn't win a race on this one. I don't know what I was pushing, but nothing was working for me where it will, like, I will get any momentum. So I lost the race. But this one could be like fun if I could get the controls down. But for some reason, I just couldn't do it. But yeah, if you guys got this game working properly, or if it worked properly for you, let me know if you want any races. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed those 4 volumes of games. Evercade is always coming out with new stuff, so be on the lookout. And now something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. The Evercade Alpha was an amazing announcement for me because you guys know I've been collecting countercades. These systems actually come with 2 cartridge slots, just like the Evercade Versus, so you have access to all your games on this countercade. So it's going to give you a different playstyle experience for each of your games, you know. Very excited to try this thing out. I am just like ecstatic when I saw this announcement. I know you guys have been wanting me to talk about it for a while, but yeah, I'm very happy about this being released. And now it's going to be released within a month of this video. So you can pre-order on Amazon. I have links in the description. But man, I am so excited because I have like pretty much all the Evercade collections. But I just can't wait to try them out on this system, you know, because this is an amazing way to do it. You know, I think Arcade 1UP should have did it this way, but oh well, Evercade took over on that. So now we have just one countercade and we can switch out games for it. And marquees, I think possibly with it as well. If you're asking me which version I'm getting, definitely got to go with the Mega Man one. I just feel like that just is a very unique one. The Street Fighter one, I've seen that everywhere. You know, obviously arcades back in the day, so that marquee just kind of like I don't know, I want something new. but both are good. But I got to go with the Mega Man one, so I'll definitely be choosing that one. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed the video, the Radical one, and I will see you all later.